20 years. What a milestone. Reflecting on this first 20 years of the Lastinger Center, there are reminders all around me of the incredible individuals who had the vision to mold this organization into the jewel it has become. A true blessing to the state of Florida. Working to improve the quality of life for everyone by influencing the future of opportunity, excellence, and equity in education. 20 years is a blink in geological time, but the progress that's been made in this short period has been enormous. What an honor it is to lead this organization. I'm surrounded by innovators, risk-takers, visionaries, constantly refining and influencing system change. Each and every person who has touched the Lastinger Center has contributed to its DNA, the intangible quality that has truly made a difference in the lives of many. To mark this occasion, I spent time with a few of the individuals who helped shape this organization, starting with UF alumni and founders, Alan and Dolores Lastinger. Okay, I wanted to ask you about your schooling. What was schooling like for you?
It happened here, where we're sitting. I started in kindergarten at the P.K. Young Laboratory School right downstairs. They called us lifers, the ones that went from kindergarten to graduation, and it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. The room we're in was the library at the time, and I spent an awful lot of time in here studying, trying to pass.
Well, both of you attended the University of Florida.
I was very fortunate to be able to come to the University of Florida. I studied business education, so I was in school here in Norman Hall with my education courses and my course content.
From there, Alan and Dolores enjoyed successful careers in business and education. As an educator, Dolores' personal experiences gave her intimate knowledge of the challenges faced in the classroom. They wanted to do something about it.
Back in, I think in 1995, I was asked to be co-chair of the It's Performance That Counts campaign, capital campaign for the University of Florida. Early in the campaign, we had no idea where that money should be invested.
I was on the College of Education's campaign committee. The dean was Rod McDavis, and he had a vision to start a center for kids in poverty areas or low-income areas, and it just hit me. And I went home to Alan and I said, we could do this. I really would love to help children and to help teachers.
It was one of my proudest achievements from my deanship at the College of Education was to get to know the Lastingers, to see what wonderful people they are, and to understand that their passion for improving education matched my passion and matched the college's passion for improving K-12 education. Where you're born, where you grow up, should not define the quality of education that's afforded to you. The big picture would be, that their endowment would help us create a center. They funded it. They gave us a major gift, the largest gift in the history of the College of Education at that point in time, and we were off and running.
That $2 million gift, matched by the state of Florida, became the seed that started the Lastinger Center in 1999, with the ambitious goal of helping at-risk youth in public schools. Although it had a slow start for the first few years, the appointment of Don Pemberton in 2002 was the catalyst that put things in motion. Laverne Daniels, the longest-serving associate at the center, recalls meeting Don the very first time.
So I remember in 2002, Don Pemberton walked into the dean's office and I was sitting there. He said, "Hi, I'm Don Pemberton." I said, "Oh, I know who you are. I know who you are. You're here to serve in the Lastinger Center." He said, "Yep." So I said, "Well, he must be very important, or he knows what he's doing for him to leave, take stock, to come here to run the center."
What got me excited about coming here was the day I realized and really thought deeply about what Alan and Dolores had told me their vision for the center was. And the heart of the work that they described to me was to provide practical and effective support to teachers in order for them to be able to do the same and nurture and develop the students. And here I am coming in and thinking, my Lord, how can I possibly deliver on this vision that these really wonderful people have identified? Alison Adams, who is a genius of a woman, knew that world, spoke that language, had skills as a researcher that I'll never have. And so she was fully empowered, and she became the program person and the inside person to deliver it, and I was the external person that would go out in the world.
I remember walking in as the second day on the job and just being overwhelmed with the passion and the love and the amazing things that Don Pemberton was able to pull together in an institute. Don and Jeff Dow, who's no longer with us, but dear colleague, began a listening tour in the state of Florida, and they went around to ask teachers, what do you want, what do you need? And they would talk about teachers crying at that question because they said, no one ever asked us before.
What the teachers told us, what life was like for them, and just the challenges of teaching, the lack of support. And teachers would tell me, in addition to being a teacher, I'm a sheriff, I'm a social worker, I'm a nurse, I'm all of these things. And then we would ask them, and how are you nurtured? How are you developed? And then what we found was almost criminal, was that teacher after teacher told us that their professional development was called drive-by. They just kind of drive by, they get, all this information given to them, no follow-up. They take a quiz at the end of the day, declare it a success, and move on. And this was really powerful for us. I mean, this really set us on our course, and now we had a theoretical framework to work with.
Armed with critical feedback from teachers and administrators, we set out to form the foundation of our work. During those early years, the focus was on developing partnerships. Our relationship with the Kellogg Foundation and the Early Childhood Initiative Foundation was established, launching the Ready Schools Florida program in Miami-Dade schools. Dave Lawrence, a longtime champion for children and UF alum, was actively involved in supporting the center's early initiatives.
In '96, Lawton Childs, then the governor, asked me to lead a statewide task force on early childhood school readiness. I'd never even heard of the subject, despite the fact that we had 5 children. I didn't know that a third of the children entering kindergarten are way behind, and most of them will get further behind. I didn't know that by the time you get to 3rd and 4th grade, you have 40+% of children who cannot read at grade level. I decided that I would retire and spend my full-time energies on trying to help children get off to a good start in life and school. Don and others understood early that high-quality teachers make all the difference in the world. Don and others understood early that you better have the school system as a major league partner.
The ambitious Ready Schools Florida effort had the goal of increasing a child's success and potential to graduate high school by providing high-quality early childhood education from preschool through 3rd grade. With a focus on aligning standards, curriculum, and assessment, it provided teachers with the knowledge and skills to support the development of children across grade levels and ages. It was codified into a graduate program called the Teacher Leadership for School Improvement Program, which launched in January of 2006. Alison Adams reflects upon it as one of the center's greatest accomplishments.
Again, Don was listening to those teachers from the early year. What do you want? What do you need? He heard them say, we want a master's program, and we want it for free. So I remember him, I kind of chuckle at that because I thought, Don, you can't give a master's program free, but he did. He figured it out. That was magic for me when we could figure out how to give teachers something, an incentive to be in these schools. The scholarships only went to teachers in high poverty schools that we worked with, partner schools, and help them be the best teachers they could be.
The center expanded its approach to professional learning by leveraging teacher leaders and professors in residence who helped lead teacher fellows and principal fellow programs. Under the leadership of Dr. Nancy Dana, Buffy Bondi, and Doreen Ross, we focused on culture building, making professional learning job embedded, and using inquiry to help teachers answer questions about their practice. On an annual basis, hundreds of teachers presented at learning showcases each summer to share the results of their inquiry projects. School leaders embraced this new approach. Dr. Leonetta Mcnealy was principal of Duval Elementary, an early partner school.
So I was assigned a professor in residence, Dr. Elizabeth, we call her Buffy, Bondi, and she was my professor in residence. And what an incredible relationship we had. She came in saying, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but we are going to work on strategies, teacher practice, academic excellence, and performance for our students. I'm here to help support you. For 3 years, we had a group of fellow teachers where we could get together and discuss all kinds of things, inquiries, relationships with parents. It was incredible, Phil.
By 2009, the program had over 300 partner schools engaged in 5 districts across the state. During this time, Dawn began partnering with Gloria Jean Merricks, a master teacher at Duval Elementary. Her unique approach to teaching math, which included music and dance, directly contributed to the school's astounding transformation from an F to an A. Funding from the Kellogg Foundation was secured to codify her instructional methods into a curriculum. We knew we were beginning to make a difference. The next era of the center's evolution was marked by a time of transition and growth. We embraced educational equity as a major focus of our work. We also expanded into early learning, STEM, and instructional coaching. Across all of these programs, we engaged in reflective and intentional activities to prompt educators' thinking about how to improve their practice. The work was led by educational pioneers like Pete Bermudez. His experiences as an immigrant eventually led him to his work in educational equity, and he joined forces with the Lastinger Center through Ready Schools, Florida.
I remember moments where my family and I would go to rent an apartment, and I was the translator for them. And the minute that the person renting realized that we were speaking Spanish, they would say, no, it's been rented already. So I think out of those experiences that I became highly sensitive to needs of kids like me, and the way schools needed to provide opportunities for them to feel welcome and to feel noticed and to feel supported. Again, the Lastinger experience sort of catalyzed that when we began to work with the Kellogg grant. And that became a real appeal for me and a real source of pride. The model of having embedded professors in the schools and working closely with the teachers and the principals was essential, was a core to the work, the early work of the center. I think people looked at the center during that time as with hope and with high expectations. I was really excited to be part of that.
Additional early support from the Helios Foundation allowed the Lastinger Center to expand supports to mathematics and science teachers. Thomasina Adams recounts how her love for mathematics translated to work she launched at the center.
Mr. Briggs was like the most awesome person I ever met because he didn't know I was poor. He didn't know that I just came from a peach house and a blue jean factory, and he didn't know that my father couldn't read and write. He just knew I was breathing. So I should be able to do this thing called math. And that's how I fell in love with math, and that's what made me want to teach mathematics. That's always been my love since meeting Mr. Briggs. Don Pemberton mentioned that he was interested in engaging teachers of mathematics and helping teachers of mathematics be more successful. That's essentially how it all started, with this conversation about what can we do to better mathematics teaching and learning. And so at that time, another Lastinger colleague, and I would drive around the state of Florida, and I would have my carton of math tools, and I would do these workshops for teachers.
Other programs emerged, like the Summer Institutes and Content Clinics for Math and Science teachers, which began with Pinellas, Duval, and Palm Beach counties. The Investing in Innovation Grant Award brought national recognition to our work and fueled the Early Childhood TILSI program in Miami. And growing out of the collective TILSI work, the center developed an intentional approach to preparing and certifying instructional coaches and leaders. Since 2013, 7 Florida school districts have had over 1,200 coaches certified. The state's Office of Early Learning also began collaborating with the Lastinger Center to build and launch a statewide online early learning system which has grown exponentially since its inception. These expansions form the backbone for the focus of the center's current programming. One simple question has propelled the new era of the Lastinger Center. How can we make our work scalable to reach more teachers and impact the lives of more children? With this ambitious goal, we began to leverage technology. With the goal of increasing high school graduation rates by helping students master algebra, the Lastinger Center joined forces with StudyEdge to launch a statewide initiative, Algebra Nation. We engaged some of Florida's best algebra teachers to create a social media-based online resource for middle and high school students, teachers, and parents, giving them the high-quality content and support necessary to pass the end-of-course exams. Within just a few months, Algebra Nation exceeded all expectations. More than half of Florida's middle and high school algebra teachers, representing 1,200 schools in all 67 school districts, had begun to access the resources in the first year. By year 2, we were serving 250,000 students across the state. Introduced in 2015, Early Learning Florida was created to offer a professional development system that serves infant, toddler, and preschool teachers across Florida. A public-private partnership funded by philanthropic foundations and grants from the legislature, Early Learning Florida is based on research that revealed disparities in the quality of training early childhood providers received. These courses are specifically designed to support children's development and continue to be a resource and support system for these essential educators.
All of that laid the foundation for being able to do these very specific programs, targeted ones, that are scalable, that would have a much greater impact.
Just as Don Pemberton passed the leadership of the Lastinger Center over to me in 2018, we had begun to be known as an education innovation incubator. And if I've learned anything from the leaders who got the Lastinger Center off the ground, it's to bring in great people and get out of their way. The center continues to attract top talent that is bringing these innovations into reality. 2 examples of this new approach are the Literacy Matrix program and the Flamingo Learning Platform. We were incredibly fortunate to be funded by the author James Patterson to build the Literacy Matrix. This ambitious program, available to elementary educators throughout the state of Florida, is a professional development tool for learning the science of reading. Teachers focus on mastering efficient and effective reading instruction by learning how to implement evidence-based practices in their classrooms with support from expert facilitators. Because of its early results and success, the Literacy Matrix has begun to expand into other states beyond Florida. What began as a small but mighty goal to improve the lives of children by supporting educators through evidence-based practices has led us to the next chapter of our story. We are constantly evolving and reinventing, but what will remain at the core of what we do is our strong commitment to Alan and Dolores Lastinger's vision and legacy.
The thing that I like about the center's progress over time is that we've adapted, we've evolved, we've recognized changes.
That, to me, perhaps is one of its greatest strengths. The ability to listen to the people that they were serving, to the schools and the teachers that they were serving.
Lastinger Center has energized and taught and been an example for some extraordinary teaching. I think teachers make such a difference, and you've made them better, and a whole bunch of them better, and that's a gift.
I think our greatest accomplishment was holding that space for individuals who had a yearning to make a difference in the world, but wanted to be part of something that was greater than themselves.
The team we're building today will help shepherd the center into the next era of its work, and we will continue to exemplify Alan and Dolores' vision well into the future.